The signal is the stimulant. The signal is the sedative. The signal is the salvation. VHS 94 is a Shudder original that brings 5 directors together, among them contributors to previous installments in the VHS anthology series, and this is a bit of a return to form for the VHS anthology series. If you're like me, and I know I am, you appreciate horror regardless of what subgenre it is, and zeroing in on anthology horror, when it's good to great, my god, it's fucking amazing. And even if one installment isn't all that good, maybe the next tape in this case will be pretty goddamn good. And in the case of this one, this is actually about as close as you're going to get to VHS and VHS 2. It's the 4th installment, though I call it the 3rd because I'm not going to count VHS Viral in the timeline because it was really fucking dog shit. There was like one tape that was kind of okay, but the rest of the movie is fucking phoned in. So VHS Viral, get in the fucking bin for all I care. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on this movie in the comments, please, because I did appreciate how they really amped things up with a couple of these tapes, and this was kind of a bit of VHS and VHS 2, Human Centipede together, as far as they didn't do 5 tapes like the first one, they did 4 tapes like VHS 2, but there were just elements that made this one a lot better, and I'm interested to see if they're going to do a 5th one, because if they can, get away from the direct that was VHS Viral and produce this, then there's potential to create a long-running fucking franchise. And plus, it gives directors a chance to show what they can fucking do. In the case of one tape, my god, he did just as good as he did in VHS 2. And if you've seen the movie, you know which one I'm talking about. So, the wraparound story for this involves a SWAT team invading some compound that has a bunch of, monitors and everything playing while a bunch of dead bodies are everywhere, like Korn once said. And there are these, like some people have their eyes gouged out. Some people are just like, laying around, stuff like that. And there's like a plane in there. There's a whole bunch of weird stuff. And it's a bunch of creepy cultish shit. You hear voiceover stuff like what I said in the beginning. The signal is the stimulant. The signal is the sedative. The signal is the salvation. And, it's like, you're stuck here. It's like, one of us, one of us. So that's basically the idea. I'll get into spoilers here in a little bit, but that's a wraparound story where basically the SWAT team ends up getting their shit fucked up as things go on, because we have a bit of that, then we go to the first tape, then we come back to SWAT team, and then so on into infinity. And basically, we just take off into the first one, and that's Storm Drain. That was directed by Chloe Okumo. And I am not going to try to pronounce the name of the director of the 3rd tape, though he did do May the Devil Take You and May the Devil Take You 2, Electric Boogaloo. And this basically revolves around an urban legend called Ratman. And there's a news reporter and her cameraman, and they try to figure out what stuff's going on here. And, well, let's just say shit kind of gets fucked up when they realize, oh, maybe some of this stuff isn't necessarily just an urban legend. Maybe it's very fucking real, and there's some really fucked up weird people, and you should stay out of the goddamn sewers. That's about really all I can say without spoiling, but there's a couple good gore effects in this in particular right at the end. And then we go to, there was one kind of funny little insert there in this, though, veggie masher ad. It was like, a juicer thing. That was actually kind of cool. They inserted a few ads and talked about all this stuff. It was kind of cool. It was kind of cool to, see that stuff and them playing along with the fact that, like, this was, mid-90s stuff. I did also like how there was a bit of a news report before this first tape started, where they talked about the internet. I'm like, man, the internet, that thing will never fucking take off. Whatever happened to the internet? I wonder what the internet is up to this day. Was it able to raise its children and have them go to college properly? Of course I kid. We're obviously on the goddamn internet, but let's have some fun. So I also remember the dial-up stuff. My fucking goodness, the dial-up stuff. It was so goddamn noisy. Those of you that don't remember dial-up internet, just be happy. So that ends the first tape. And then we talk about The Empty Wake, which was directed by Simon Barrett, who directed Tape 49, the wraparound police investigation storyline from VHS 2, and also Seance, that I just reviewed recently. So check out that review after this one, and let me know what you think. Seance was, I can't necessarily say Seance was good. Maybe I thought it was good. You'll have to find out. So there's a woman named Haley that is working in a funeral home and is there to host a wake for somebody that may or may not actually be dead. It's hard to really fucking tell because the casket is kind of jarred and everything, and only one person ends up showing up to this wake, and the lights flicker and a bunch of weird stuff happens, and what the fuck's actually going on? Haley's a little bit freaked out, and she keeps calling people, and nobody's really going to give her answers until she gets answers, and by then, well, maybe shit's too late. Maybe it's not. You'll have to find out. But this one sort of... remember the second tape, the Honeymoon or whatever the fuck it was. The one about the couple that kept getting stalked by somebody that had a camera. Remember that? That's what this one kind of reminded me of. Now this was a little bit better than that, but it was the weakest of the four. It wasn't bad. It was just kind of there, and to me, I don't know. I mean, I think it was just kind of there. This was a bit of a downturn where at the point I was like, okay, maybe I'm gonna have to just fucking downgrade this thing, and then. First we get to back to the SWAT team, and they just keep finding body parts and everything, and this is gonna get weirder, this is gonna get messier and everything, and you don't know the half of it. And then we get to the third tape, The Subject. By the way, the director, again, not going to try to pronounce his name, he directed Safe Haven from VHS 2, the one about the Indonesian death cult. Remember that one? Remember how fucking terrific that was and how that could have been a full-length movie because it was just that goddamn good and it was gory and it was great and it was fucking amazing, and this director understands exactly how to do horror, whether short form or long form. This was fucking great. This elevated the goddamn movie a whole lot. I was prepared to give this movie about a D+ in all, maybe C- at the most, and I elevated it way up. This went way up as far as a grade and as far as like just impact. This was fucking tremendous. A mad scientist is trying to fuse man and machine together, and it has different results and everything, but you can definitely see elements of Safe Haven here. While it was trying to be its own story, it was really fucking good, really fucking gory, but the special effects, the gore effects, these were fucking tremendous. Very fucking well done. Very good shit. I really enjoyed this movie, and even it really felt like a full-length movie. It was just great because it shows the pain on everybody's face, and the stuff like, whoa, what do you do when you're confronted with something that you don't expect? And then we get to back to the SWAT team basically getting their shit fucked up and everything. And it seems like maybe some of the SWAT team members are a little bit off. And by a little bit, I mean a lot off. And then we cut to the fourth tape, Terror, which basically looks like it was filmed in 1974 and is set in a Detroit, Michigan compound, or a Michigan compound somewhere. That basically is like every Trumper's like Twitter, social media feed like put on film. Seriously, they're all militant. They call themselves the First Patriots Movement Militia. Good job there. And basically they have a weapon, some kind of weapon that they're going to use to take down the government bit by bit, row by row and everything. But of course, naturally, because these guys are fucking idiots and couldn't actually, operate, a fruit stand, let alone any kind of, militant mission, things go really fucking south and things get really, really fucked up. And it's really fucking hilarious. In fact, this is probably the funniest fucking short because I've dealt with people like this, and it's just fucking hilarious to see how stupid a lot of people are when they try to do this shit and they get fucked up because, they're not really actually, militant people. They're just fucking nuts and cowards. And listen to the dialogue. It's fucking hilarious. It's really fucking timely. And naturally, their shit gets fucked up as well. And then we go back to the SWAT team and we find out more about the stuff and what the actual whole thing was that was going on here. So that's pretty much it right there. The last two tapes, the wraparound story isn't bad. It's a mixture of VHS and VHS 2. Because, the first VHS had the guys investigating that three-story house or whatever it was. And VHS 2 had the police investigation stuff. This is more of a wraparound thing. It's definitely not as bad as VHS Viral, which again, I don't count. But I will definitely say this is worth checking out, and I'm interested to see what they're going to do with the fifth, sixth one. If they can keep this kind of tone and bring back that guy that directed the Safe Haven short and the Subject short, please do. That guy's fucking great. Really fucking great. One of my favorite directors, even though I can't pronounce his name properly. So let's get into spoilers here. So spoilers. So if you're still watching, sorry, they're spoilers. So anyway, the SWAT team wraparound storyline, I'm going to finish up really quick. It turns out the two women that were part of the SWAT team were actually in on this whole goddamn thing. There was an actress named Gina Phillips who is fucking gorgeous, I will say. And also, there's Petro, and she's played by Kimmy Choi, and she's actually in on the whole damn thing too. And they're kind of cultish. It almost actually is a little bit cultish, kind of like how they tried to make VHS Viral, except they dealt with it a little bit better by making it not shit. So that's the last time I'll mention VHS Viral, by the way. We now go to, that's pretty much the whole damn thing. And then we get to Storm Drain, which is about an urban legend called Ratman. And Holly and her cameraman investigate. And basically, instead of being smart and not going too deep into the goddamn sewers, they go in there, and we see footage before of various people talking about this Ratman or Ratma, not Ranma Half. I mean, sorry to any of my anime fans that are still watching this, all three of you. And if you get that Ranma Half reference, I fucking love you guys, because it was a very, very weird anime. And I only saw a bit of it. But anyway, enough about obscure anime to most people. Let's focus on the fact that there was this one particular guy that talked about, oh, maybe this Ratman is to help people absolve them, or help absolve people of their sins and their plights and stuff like that. And it turns out, gee, I wonder if that guy's going to be part of it. Yeah, it turns out he's fucking part of it. Holly and her cameraman get captured. Some weird compound from this Ratman guy gets thrown on the cameraman, and he rots away. But maybe something else is going to happen. What the hell is going to happen here? Holly gets face to face with this Ratman. I can't necessarily say that the makeup effects are great. Like, they tried. This looked kind of goofy. But she comes face to face, and then suddenly, flash forward later, we had that Veggie Masher ad, and then she's rescued from the storm drain. Oh, okay. Then she's back on the news and everything, all fine, and then she starts saying, oh, hey, it's like, Ratma. She starts saying that and everything. Kind of like, like she's in part of this cult, this underground cult. She's going to tell the story. And she ends up vomiting this weird compound, blood or whatever, acid on her anchorman's face, her anchor co-worker's face, and rots him. And then she's like, "Hail Ratma." That was actually kind of funny. That actually was kind of funny. We then smash cut to a church setting with a bunch of mannequins there and everything, and that could be its own goddamn movie. Then we go to the Empty Wake, which basically is just what I described. That girl, Haley, keeps seeing some weird shit. The power keeps going out. She's got to keep the tapes running. And it turns out that this guy that is in this casket actually is very much not dead. His head was smashed on the concrete when he kept spouting a bunch of weird stuff and jumped out a church window. And his head kind of, was partly slit off. And his body could hump by sound, because since, it was like cut like this, so he couldn't actually see, but he could hear, I guess out of the one fucking ear that's working. And he ends up possessing her, and then she jumps out the window. So you see why I thought that was the weakest goddamn tape. It kind of reminded me of that one where that girl in VHS 1 tried to capture that weird digital creature that you couldn't actually see, and then that ended up going tits up. I didn't really care for that one. I think it was VHS 1. I think it was VHS 1. And then she's possessed and whatever the fuck's going on there. That's kind of what this reminded me of, and there really isn't a whole lot to it. Like, it's just kind of there. Then we get to the subject, which, my God, again, from the director of Safe Haven, boy, I fucking love this one. There are two people there that are having experiments done on them by a mad scientist that once proved that man and machine can be fused. A woman and a guy. And she basically, the woman ends up kind of getting part of her head cut off, and she ends up getting something installed on her. And we don't see it. We just see it from her perspective. There's a battery power thing. A little Chiron in the corner and everything, and battery, and it's like, oh, she can nod because she can understand, and she's got speakers for ears and stuff like that. And oh, it's working. Mad Scientist also works on this guy that he ends up kind of installing, swords on his hands, and we're not necessarily certain if that experiment ends up working out. Well, the news is fully aware of this. Another SWAT team, man, this SWAT teamers union must have funded this goddamn movie from Indonesia and the U.S. Any part of the goddamn U.S., because I don't know where the fuck that actual wraparound storyline was supposed to take place. I assume in the middle of America, somewhere in America. My freedoms! Wait, that's the next tape. So, basically this Indonesian SWAT team comes in, and they shoot the mad scientist dead. Okay, everything, whatever. The main police chief or the leader of the whole thing wants to shoot this, this girl. She's a missing girl, but she's obviously half woman, half machine. And, well, she can't live like that. Well, the cameraman's like, no, she's a missing girl. We probably should take her back to the parents. Well, they don't want to see her like this. How the fuck does he know? That's not for us to decide, he says. And then, we see... Well, we kind of see how she kind of escapes and everything, because, oh boy, she kind of, runs off and everything, panicked, as anyone would be when they have a camera fuse their goddamn skull, or part of their goddamn skull. A bomb goes off, basically, because the lab was booby-trapped. Booby. And then that awakens that I can only describe basically as Pyramid Head. Basically Pyramid Head with, just the swords on his hands instead of a sword that he carries. Because he's mechanical, he's brutal. This is just like the devil they had in Safe Haven. Really fucking terrific. Great goddamn shit. Again, this is where it fucking just picked up like crazy. He's slashing people. He's doing all this stuff. It's fucking awesome. And the girl basically just tries to escape. She ends up falling down the shaft. She sees her, the experiments of like, why she's got this stubby arm and everything. It turns out she can attach guns to it. Like, so she's Mega Man or Zero. Who is the female Mega Man? Who was the female Mega Man? Was it Roll? It was Roll. So anyway, she basically sees that, she sees herself in the mirror and everything. She got the camera stuff and the one eye and the speakers for ears. And she ends up attaching a gun and taking out the SWAT team. Natural, because they want to kill her. And then it turns out that, well, she, the camera guy, Jono, I believe was his name, he's like, no, let's live together. He didn't actually want to do this. He was filming, but he didn't want to do this. That makes sense. And then the goddamn blade pyramid head thing just is killing. The police chief shoots her down the goddamn stairs. He ends up coming through, slashing the police chief after the police chief gets shot, but then Jono also gets killed. And she ends up killing him by ripping open his skull and tearing out his goddamn brain. It's fucking awesome. It's really fucking awesome. Again, I cannot... Had the shorts all been like this movie would have gotten an A+ and would have been my favorite movie of the year. Alas, it is pretty much the high point of the goddamn thing. And then she kills him, and then the battery power shuts off. So, oh no, she's done. And then we see her walk off. So I guess she was fine? So anyway, then we get to the fourth tape, Terror. And we keep seeing these militant guys that, again, couldn't operate a goddamn fruit stand, shooting this guy in the goddamn head. Why do they keep shooting him in the goddamn head? Weird guy that keeps panicking and everything. Understandable. And they keep talking about how they're going to bring down the government. They're going to do all this stuff. Again, Trumper, Twitter, and social media stuff and everything. It's absolutely hilarious. It's frightening, but it's also absolutely hilarious and timely. And... it's like, will the creature, be able to do what you say it can do? Well, we will see. They get a rabbit, by the way, and inject it with blood, and then the sun comes out and it blows up. Because why not? Now, I was ready to downgrade it because of that, because that's why I downgraded VHS 2 for what happened to the goddamn dog at the end of the goddamn thing. Fuck whoever directed that. How dare you kill that dog? I don't like animal violence in my movies, but this was so comical that I couldn't help but laugh at it. And I love rabbits. I've had 3 pet rabbits, and they were great. So they drive by this government building. They take these camera shots and everything, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. Let's take out this goddamn thing. Let's get the creature ready. And we have to use it we have to use it like when it's weakened or whatever, so we can control it, but still have it do what we want. Because if we don't get or if we don't do it now, we're not going to have sunlight for 3 goddamn months. Are there parts of Michigan that don't get sunlight? I thought that was just Alaska. Genuine question for any Michigan people that are watching. All 3 of you. I would love to know what you guys have to say. So anyway, ignore the fact, by the way, in case you notice that the lighting keeps changing. I'm using natural lighting and there's a storm going outside. So the clouds are going all over the place. So anyway, let's go fuck with him. Basically, I'm not going to get that much sunlight for 3 goddamn months. No! So... the guys basically start drinking because they're all celebrating the fact that they're going to be able to take this whole thing down. And then 2 guys play this prank, or one guy plays a prank on another guy, where the guy ends up getting some of the blood on him. Well, okay, he gets some of the blood on him. It is what it is. And then people start dying. People start fucking dying because the creature basically is like, I'm going to start killing people because I'm tired of being shot all the time. And... one guy blows up because he has vampire blood on him. You're covered in vampire blood. It's exploding vampire blood. Why is that funny? I don't know. And then we get to see what the creature's like. It's kind of like Pennywise. It's kind of like Pennywise from the new It movies, where he peels his face back and everything, the deadlights and that kind of stuff, and it, does the weird face hugger thing. That's what it's like. And it was really fucking good. Really, really fucking good. And guy's face gets peeled off. That was really fucking cool. And then he captured the leader, and then boom! All about that boom! And there we go. That's pretty much it for that. And then back to the SWAT team people, where they say, "Oh, we're dealing with bootleg VHS and everything, and we're doing this, and we're a cult." Okay, openly admitting it. That's right. They just do that, and then smash cut to the end. So I will say that I'm interested to see what they're going to do with the next installments. I hope that there is at least a fifth one, because I would like to see it bookend. If you just do 5, I'd like to see it bookended by really good ones. To wash the taste out of our mouths, it was, again, VHS Viral. B+. I'm going to give it a B+. The strength of the last 2 tapes in particular really elevated. Had the previous 2 tapes been as strong as the last 2, especially that third one, holy shit, that third one, I love it. I might have to watch it again. Had they been as strong as that, it would have been a whole lot better. But as it is, more positives than negatives, B+ for sure. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.